Have you ever wondered what it was like to create a toy from start to finish that came straight from your childhood dreams? Well, I was able to do just that with this horse styling head I created with Breyer, and I'm going to tell you a little bit how I did it. It starts earlier, actually. I developed another styling head for a company called Spin Master. They added an airbrush and stencils and all these gimmicks, but I thought that the styling head category needed an update. It was a big success, but if there's one thing I like more than hairstyling, it's horses and braiding horses' hair. I thought a horse styling head had the same problems as a regular styling head. We only get unicorns from Barbie. There's really nothing that captures the elegance and beauty of horses. And I had a friend working at Breyer, and I had a chance to pitch it to them. Needless to say, my first efforts were not that elegant. I started with a base of epoxy clay, mostly just to decide what the scale is. I do these rough sculpts to figure out scale. For me, it's the most important thing. Then I worked with a digital sculptor to refine it and create the elegant horse of my dreams. These are just some 3D prints. I kind of sketch in details just to see how she's going to look. And then it was painting and priming and sanding just to smooth them out enough to paint. This process took forever. I worked with a pony customizer I found on Instagram. Even though his work was very fantasy, I wanted to see what he could do with real style horses. So I did these quick mock-ups in Photoshop to send him. Of course, I did also have to include a unicorn design. His finished prototypes were stunning. If you look closely at these prototypes, you'll see that the pupil of the horse eye is slightly horizontal like a real horse. He did such an amazing job, but there were changes that were made. And then from there, it was hairstyling. I worked with a top hairstylist, Denisa Medrano. Back then she was freelancing, but now I think she works for MGA doing all the rainbow high hair. This we came up with for the unicorn had, I don't know, 12, 14 shades of rainbow. I knew it wouldn't work for production, but I wanted to try it out anyway. Dazzle with the prototypes. I just couldn't get over how gorgeous they looked with hair and their dramatic paint jobs. I did some quick photographs, how I envisioned them that I could put into a pitch deck to sell. And then I went to the New York Toy Fair and had a meeting. This is where I identified the problem in the market, and Breyer loved the idea. These images were photographs that they took into their studio to do full turnarounds for their factories. Look how gorgeous the dapple gray turned out. Dapple gray horses have always been my favorite. I had to give her wavy hair, and of course, the diva of a unicorn. And then Blaze. Blaze ended up coming out with black hair, but initially she had this fiery red hair. I think she turned out gorgeous either way. We had to make some small edits to the sculpt. I think we wanted to make it look a little more horsey. And then it was on to the mold making process. It was really important to me that these horses had soft vinyl heads that the hair could be rooted directly into. I don't like the look of commercial toy horses when their molds are split in half and the hair is just inserted. From there, we moved on to packaging and branding, and then shot a toy commercial. But this whole process from when I started working on it to this day was about a year. A lot of back and forth with the company, contracts, agreements, edits, and in-person trips to the Breyer offices. But I think it all paid off. It was so wonderful to see my horses brought to life in all of their braided glory. It's rare to work with a company and have the finished product look so much like the original. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to work with Breyer. I knew they would maintain the integrity of the design because they love horses as much as I do. It's been such a magical and wonderful process to see how Main Beauty has been received. They have expanded the toy line. They also edited this part out of the commercial, but you're looking at one happy toy designer. One of the most fulfilling parts of this whole process, though, has been seeing how people have received the toy. I loved watching my Froggy Stuff do her reviews, and look, the Dapple Gray made it to the line, and a redhead. And don't forget, unicorns, that's Katara, and this one was named Electra, a dark unicorn. How cool. Of course, we had to start out with Bubble Pink, though. And it's been so cool to see how people customize them. Look at this amazing talent. When art creates more art, it's one of the most satisfying things in the world to me. I remember being a kid and being inspired by my toys, my My Little Ponies, and I hope I'm able to do the same somewhere else for someone who's playing with the horse of their very own. It's so wild seeing your dreams come from paper and into the 3D. Main Beauty, available now with Breyer and Tractor Supply stores across America.